Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. How are y'all doing? I haven't streamed in like 2 days, because I was busy not streaming. That's the reason pretty much. I was not streaming because I wasn't streaming. Taking some days. Taking some days off. Anyway, while I wasn't streaming, someone called Demi P started following me, so thank you for the follow. But I assume they're not here. But thank you anyway. You've now been acknowledged. Okay. So today we're gonna do Katawa Shoujo. Hopefully finishing Shizune out. I put it in the title, so I kinda have to now. And then we will do the Song of Saya after that. And hopefully it doesn't cause a problem. I looked things up. I mean, people have streamed it in the past. I was able to find VODs of people who have played it in the past. And I'll have a censor ready. So we should be fine. We should be fine. Assuming I can react fast enough. I reacted pretty slowly when it happened in Katawa Shoujo. The one time with Hanako. But I wasn't ready for that. You know? I didn't think that happened in this game. So now I know. Or rather, well, I knew it happened, but I didn't know it could happen to the sprites. And I didn't know what would happen when I have the thingy turned on, so who even knows. Man, oh man, it's been a while. Okay, let's get back to reading. Yep, the brightness is up. Just gotta put my glasses on. I always forget to put my glasses on before the stream starts. I don't normally wear glasses while streaming, or while using my computer at all, really. But it does improve it just a little bit, and so it's kind of good to use when I have to read the tiny ass fucking text. Do you have somewhere in mind already? You're right again. Let's go to the usual place. Troops out a bag of neatly wrapped containers from just outside of the doorframe. I'm guessing they're filled with food, and this time it doesn't look store-bought. Setting it down between her feet, she continues. Is that... Oh wait, Genji? Is that for me? This was a real surprise, see? I have to have something over... what? I have to have something over everyone at the very end. What? I agree in the way people normally do... What? This is written so weirdly. I agree in the way people normally do when someone makes a statement in front of them that tells them more than they meant to tell. What a fucking weird way to write. Fine, if you're both going to ignore me, I'm out of here. So cruel. You'll regret this. Oh, whoa. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. Not long afterwards, we find ourselves on the school roof. Bleh. Is it normally deserted at this time, on a nice day like this, on the weekend? No, of course not. I can only think that it's because of Shizune. And that clearing out a roof would require anything more than posting a sign on the door. The empty plastic containers Shizune had packed our meal in lie next to me. It was another quiet meal, since holding chopsticks prevents us from saying much to each other. Well, it's not blowing hard enough to be a problem. The wind is a little strong today. It blows the plastic bag loose from under the empty containers, so it whips around a bit before rolling over my legs and getting caught on the tip of Shizune's shoe. What a weird detail to point out. Immediately, she grabs it and starts signing, not looking happy that I'm laughing at her, even though she's trying to let out a laugh herself. With the bag in the way, however, she has to eventually sit on it to continue. Very funny. How was it? The food? It tasted familiar. That means it was bad. No, I remember eating this exact meal before, when you made it. Not exactly the same. The fried shrimp was new. It's the only thing I know how to make, but I should have improved. How many times have you made it before? This is the second time. Making this particular meal. Cooking. Next time it's your turn to try it. The way she keeps tugging at the corner of the bag is bothering me. I think I know why she's doing it. It's really bugging you that much? I want to pack them up properly. It's okay, I'll get them. As I'm picking them up, I realized she must have bought a lot of food to be able to fill all these containers. I didn't even eat much. Shizune must have some metabolism in order to pack all that way. What? Oh, to pack all that away. Even though I've only been up for a second, it's long enough to stupidly trip over my own feet. Barely managing to break my fall, I end up landing on my elbow and knees right next to Shizune's lap. Oh. Just pull myself back up, hand gingerly held on my chest. All I can think about is how my knees hurt and how this fall could have killed me. I feel nauseous. Shizune gives a helpful push on my shoulder to help me upright, though I notice her eyeing me oddly. Unfortunately, even a light shove is enough to take me by surprise. You okay? Daijoubu. I nod, but we don't return. To sitting beside each other. Naturally, being alone with Shizune is going to involve a lot of silence, but I only start to notice it now. A typical sign of awkwardness. Again, she's the one to break the ice. I was expecting you to try something dirty. Dude, I was almost expecting it as well. And now the mood is back to awkward. How's Misha? Misha seems happier now, back to her old self. Thought this would be a good way to celebrate and to thank you for helping her. My hand stumbles for a bit on the last word. You think too much like a businesswoman. I can't help it. It's how I've been taught to do things. It makes me happy that you're asking about Misha. It would be more accurate to say back to her real self. She would only be back to her old self to you. The Misha you know is completely different from the one I think of when I think of the first time we met. Even though I think she looks better, cheerful, and smiling, that isn't how she typically is. I wonder if it's true for you too. I don't answer. Well, if Misha is happy, then it doesn't matter. If it worked out in the end, your plan worked. You know her just as well as you said. You know everything she would say. If your idea was just that I'd speak for you, though, doesn't that just make me your puppet? I didn't do anything then. Not true, it was your idea first. I was wrong. I have a way of seeing things that is very flawed, now that I've thought about it. I'm sure you know. Sometimes I treat everything like a competition between myself and everyone else, even when it doesn't make sense to. Sometimes. Yeah, what do you mean sometimes? I feel very well how easy it is to ignore someone if they can only... Oh, wait, hang on. I need to fucking do the thing again. There we go. Okay. I know very well how easy it is to ignore someone if they can only communicate with you through sign. I should have asked for help, but I was so sure I could do it on my own. It was actually a brave thing you did, even if you won't take credit for it. Aside from that, you've really become kind of admirable lately. Strange having her compliment me while her facial expression hasn't changed in the slightest. But people don't change so easily, according to you, am I right? She winks, clearly enjoying herself very much. Does Misha tell you everything? Almost everything. Guess you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong about that, aren't you? Yes and no. I'm the one who told Misha that before anyone else, but she took it too far and changed the meaning. It's not easy, but she acts like that makes it impossible. It's possible, if you go little by little. I'm considering trying to be less competitive. Thought you enjoyed that, though. Maybe just a little. That's why I specifically used less. She leans against the fence. I have things I want to say to her, but it doesn't seem like the right time for it. Somehow, it's a feeling I have. I can tell she isn't done just yet. A lot of people think I try too hard. Well, I've always thought that I try just enough. The sound of the fence makes as she pushes against it, and the delicate clink of her sleeve buttons scraping against the links are oddly soothing. So is the breeze gently picking up behind me. I can hear people below it. Yeah, well, is it gonna be soothing when the fucking fence breaks and she falls off? Shizune's eyes dart below us as well, and I wonder if she still thinks about what she might be missing out on. The attention-grabbing way she tends to snap her fingers proves she has an understanding of how other people perceive sound. It must be odd, being able to understand that much, but unable to experience yourself. She starts walking slowly around the perimeter of the roof, still scraping her buttons against the fence. It isn't rhythmic at all, though not for a lack of trying. Sort of zone out in thought while she does, and I'm really snapped out of it when she circles around completely and taps me on the shoulder. Do you remember what we were talking about? When? Now? Of course, it just happened. It's been almost 10 minutes. When I first saw you, you seemed like you were very attached to the idea of feeling sorry for yourself. That stings, even if it is true. Sorry. Made me want to cheer you up at first sight. I was scared it would be for nothing, though. I couldn't help thinking it would be hard to change your mind. But you did. I thought that was very surprising, and also that you might be kind of easily influenced. Still, I was surprised. It made me reconsider a lot of things, like that maybe everything was worth it in the end. Everything? That's why I like you. See, it's nice to finally know. Whoa. Snap cut to the student council room. And remember, you have to take this job seriously. Too many people think you can just slack off and that it isn't important. That is a dangerous way of thinking. Definitely. You can't take it too seriously. You aren't always thinking big, thinking positive, and if you show any sense of weakness, people will start to think you're incompetent, you know? Soon you won't be able to do anything, because your power is going to be delegated off to other piece by piece, and you'll be left with nothing. That's what happened last time. So, remember, it may sound like an easy job, but a lot of carnage can happen in this room. And, what? And out of it. What? Oh, can happen in this room and out of it, I see. I fucking froze everything off. Whatever. Dealing with school staff too. Even trying to get a budget report from a class rep can be a fight to the death, sometimes. Yeah, it's kill or be killed. There are no friends in the pits, and you take no prisoners. You sure about this? Is this right? You don't seem excited enough. I have to make sure it's getting through properly. Once more, with feeling. She's gonna twist her hands like a maestro for emphasis, visibly intimidating the two girls standing at attention in front of us. Do you think this all started because one of them asked if she wasn't taking her job too seriously? Look at these two cuties. This one's cute. I like this one. When can we get a route for this one? You understand? Do you understand? Pretend I'm shouting it. Okay. This student council is so weird. Yes, sir. Sir, who are you guys talking to anyway? It's not weird. You have to think of it as a job. If you want, think of it like that. What? Think of it like they are paying you with the right to use this great office. You want another lecture? No! You can go now. Just like that, the hour-long student council orientation is over. Personally, I thought it was about 50 minutes too long, and also found it funny that it incorporated a tour of a school that we have all been going to for a while. But I guess it didn't hurt. That is a weird thing to include. I expect Shizune to fall back into her chair since she has been on edge all day, but she doesn't. She continues pacing the room restlessly. I still have a long way to go. Right now, they're a joke. Mara mara dane. Eh? What? I think they can be the new student council. They're so unfocused. You can really see the lack of experience. This was our best year yet. I don't think they have what it takes to be our follow-up act. Damn. And I know there are more of them than those two girls. Where are they? They're like the heavily marketed... What? Heavily marketed but mediocre big budget, critically panned sequel to the acclaimed low budget sleeper hit. What the f... Eventually she does stop and sit down. Are you gonna miss it? Obviously. I'd be happier if I didn't have to leave too. I like being in the student council, even if it can be tiring too. Yeah, it's definitely tiring. Only because Shik-chan is always trying to do more than she has to. You're forgetting that if I did the bare minimum, we wouldn't do anything all year except hand out flyers, collect surveys, and plan the next student council election so the next student council could sit around for another year of doing nothing. Asking me to let that happen? Don't be ridiculous. In a student council like that, there wouldn't even be any power to play around with. I'm just happy that even though I clearly need to ride them harder, those two aren't bad. Not there yet, but the new student council should be in good hands. How can you tell? After the festival, they asked me if we could also organize a Halloween event, like a haunted house or something along those lines. They had a bunch of other ideas as well. Of course, my response was no. I should tell them to do it themselves, if they wanted it so badly. They were angry for some reason. Of course, they'd be angry if you said that. And Misha delivered the, and Misha delivering the message wouldn't help. I was angry too. All of a sudden they want so much. If they wanted a haunted house, or a traditional style cafe, or a trip to the beach, or whatever other clique thing, why didn't they try to organize it before? Cliche thing? That's cliche. Well, why the fuck did I think it was click? I live? Were you not alive? Oh, I see. Class went hyper overtime again at group presentations. Yeet. Why do your group presentations always last so long? What the hell? I guess that's actually normal when people do presentations. And when it's online, you can just keep everyone there. Why didn't they try to organize it before? It was like they were taking advantage of me. I worked hard to organize those festivals, and in return they came to me with, "That was nice, but can you do this now? How about doing this?" It's what I really want. Shik-chan was wrong though. Right, they wanted to join the student council so they could make it happen. I made them feel jealous and riled them up. They can be, that can be a kind of motivation too. Yep. Yeah, pretty much. They just keep you around. It's like, it's so weird. Oh well. Lockdown over. Does that mean unis will open soon? I guess not, because the collection of people would be way too big. Nobody to kick you out of the room. Yeah, oh yeah, that's it. That's true. There won't be like another class coming to that room. The desire to do something great spreads. Even if it's to show me up, they decided to take me up on the challenge nevertheless. I'm impressed. Well, for now. I would have to see how it plays out a little longer in order to know for sure. She snaps her fingers suddenly, which sends Misha almost bolting out of her seat. Interesting. I guess it is impossible to get used to. That's right, we were gonna have a party to celebrate passing the reins to the new student council, weren't we? Why not have that now, or at least plan it now and have it tomorrow? But you're not even, but they're not even in charge yet. In fact, that's the first thing you told them. You're not in charge yet. It seems premature. I almost said paramount for some reason. Misha, what do you think? I agree, it's too early. Plus, I don't think I could go, anyway, sorry. In fact, I was gonna leave right now. Why not? No comment. No comment. Come on, tell me. Well, okay. I'm having sex with a sow. Why not crack under pressure, Misha? I thought about it, and even if I didn't want to go, I would say yes. Usually. It's the kind of person I am. I really should stop doing that. And this is a good place to start, I think. It's a celebration to say goodbye. I don't want it. It would be too sad. I want to do something else instead. And after all, Hik-chan, you, and Shik-chan will still be... What? Oh, and after all, Hik-chan, you and Shik-chan will still be here tomorrow. It doesn't seem right. What a weird fucking way to write that. Besides, I have other school things I need to do today. I can't drop them just like that. We can postpone it. No, no early goodbyes. She looks very firm as she says this. Aren't you gonna go now, though? Oh, that's right. Okay, besides now, no too early goodbyes, okay? I get it. Okay, later. With that, it's just Shizune and me left alone in the student council room. Sunset slowly changes to night as we sit in silence, both searching for something to say. Would it really be that bad? Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but Mish is right. Party set a mood, and it would be a sad one. Sad party doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Why would it be sad? Is it a trick question? I'm sure of it. Shizune's eyes piercing into mine, waiting for my answer with a detached, analytical stare that I haven't seen in a while, but feels familiar anyway. I consider my answer carefully, but also what it means for her to ask me. It could be that Shizune finds it depressing as well, or it could be that she doesn't understand why anyone would find it depressing. Both are equally plausible. I had a thought that when you graduate, that's it. It's going to be the end of the student council. I was wondering if you had the same idea. Don't be stupid. I look forward to it. I won't be a student anymore, so the expectations are going to be completely different. People's expectations of me and my expectations about everyone else, it seems exciting. As for the student council, it should be in good enough hands. I don't have anything to be sad about. I don't think you're being honest. You looked upset about having to give the student council up not even a few weeks ago. It wasn't about leaving it to a bunch of newbies either. It was having to stop doing student council work at all. Unexpectedly, Shizune smiles. So you're not disagreeing? Then it doesn't make sense. Why would you want to have a party about it? I'm trying to get over it. Besides, goodbye celebrations are very important. People say the first step is the most crucial, but following it through and finishing cleanly are just as important, right? I guess that is true. Anyway, I don't consider it goodbye, but it's still an event. You still need to go through the proper motions. Aren't you going to? Aren't I going to what? Kiss me, of course. Kiss me, baby. Is that the proper motions? It would be normal, wouldn't it? The natural thing to do? It's time to act decisively. If I don't, I'm sure my heart will explode. I kiss her immediately, so quickly that I don't even have time to enjoy it. Even though she was prepared for it, Shizune blushes a deep red. I feel a similar heat rising in my neck and cheeks. Whoa. Getting saucy. Wait. Yeah, alright, we're good. Just in case. I move for another kiss, but as I do so, she moves backwards at the same time and impishly jumps. God damn, this music's loud. Okay, Cho said, that means yep. She moves backwards at the same time and impishly jumps onto the cabinet behind her. Alone in the total silence of the room, we just look at each other for a while. It's our ass. This time I kiss her. Oh wow, it's really going in there. This time I kiss her more deeply. Her lips are tight and. Oh wait, tight? No, forget. Light and dry, and open a tiny bit. Dry? Why are they dry? I'm only able to appreciate the sensation for a moment before Shizune starts kissing me back forcefully. Enjoy? Bro, they're dry. Dry lips suck to kiss. Her bangs brush against... Oh, hang on. had like something caught in my throat. Her bangs brush against my closed eyelids as I let myself sink deeper into the kiss. I can feel the shape of her body through her clothes, which only make me hold Shizune tighter. Alright, it takes some effort for the both of us to draw back from each other. We're both blushing, both from the kiss and thoughts of what's to come, and I'm far from the only one breathing a little heavier. Shizune begins to take off my tie. I start undoing her blouse. It takes a while to figure it out. I've never really thought about how our school's blouses work before. Shizune's blouse is a little tie on her, and her arms get stuck for a moment because of it. I find myself peeling it off of her. Although with the way she's trying to wriggle out of it at the same time, it isn't easy. The sight is a little comical. Whoa! Once Shizune's arms are free, she slides out of her skirt, her skirt falling around her knees. With it after she unlatches it and works it off her legs. The only thing covering her now are her bra and panties. Her figure is curvaceous? What? This is a weird word for it. You could just say curvy. Her figure is curvaceous and taut, and the healthy color of her skin contrasts with the black of her underwear. It's a wonderful sight, especially against the background of the moonlight through the window. She looks at my chests and works the buttons of my shirt one by one. The process is greatly slowed by my hands moving up and down her thighs. It's a little amusing to play with her like this. Eventually, finally, my shirt falls to the ground. Shizune surprises me by quickly pulling me in for a deep kiss without warning, but I quickly return the gesture. Why are you... what? Oh, why are you bolted today then on the roof? Or in your room? I try to think of a good answer, but it isn't easy. How would I be able to respond to that even if I could? There's no way to, unless I were to say that. Bureaucracy really puts me in the mood. My shirt having been disposed of, Shizune moves onto my belt, and I decide to help her undo it instead of answering a question. I don't think it would do much good at this point. Guys, just saying, this seems like an inappropriate place. Yeah, what's the deal? In like... So let's think. In the Rin route, it was in either Rin or Hasao's room, one of their rooms, and in Hanako it was in her room. But in in this one, it's just in the fucking student council room. It's not hard to get off and falls to the ground with a metallic clunk. I move in for another kiss and begin to slide my hand up her side, but she suddenly lurches forward, making me stumble backwards. The stiff edge of the table behind me was the furthest thing from my mind until I feel it stabbing into my lower back. Haven't even noticed it was there. It makes me grab Shizune a little tighter as we fall back onto the surface of the table. There you go. Just nice smelling. Hey Raymood, did you come just in time for sexy times? Exhausted, I lean back against the desk and try to regain my breath before putting my clothes back on. I notice a dull, hot throbbing in my chest as I button my shirt back up. Puts a bad aftertaste on everything that just happened. Apparently, yeah, pretty much. Whoa, 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 whoa. God damn it. Let's just... Don't PogChamp that. Nameless or... God damn it. Let's just get this up here. Is that it? Wait, put it above. Okay. Let's just... God damn it. I have to cover some of the text, I think. Right? Let me look at the... Yeah, I have to... I have to cover some of the text. We're just gonna have that there. Memed again. Perfection in before new CG. The CGs don't come in, luckily. She won't be naked in the CGs because I have... Can you even see that? Yeah, disable adult content, which turns off the CGs, but for some reason it still lets the sprites be naked. Rin never got naked, but for some reason Hanako and Shizune both did. I need to be aware that this is always gonna happen. I still see it, but none of you can. She actually has quite nice breasts. It was a lucky break that Misha couldn't be here, wasn't it? You're in a unusually joking mood today. I wonder what she had to do. Shizune traces the air lazily with a finger and points to the door. Go see for yourself. Why don't you just tell me? It's more interesting if you see for yourself. Seeing is believing. Sure, clever. Maybe I will. What about you? You gonna stay here all day? It's getting late. Feels like my last day as student council president, so maybe I'll sleep here tonight. It could be the last chance I have to sleep at my desk. Like, after a long day trying to meet a deadline. What if she moves? Yeah, if she moves, I'll have to also quickly, try and turn it off. I woke up at the right time, I see. We all saw it. Elevator. Yeah, you all saw it, but it's going now. That's weird. Sleep in my bed. Sleeping sitting up is a skill. A very useful one. Right. Okay. She's gone. Get rid of this sensor now. Whew, that was a dicey nut. Soggy nut. Got a ban streamer from his own stream for allowing that to slip through. Look, I wasn't ready for it. I didn't know that other routes were gonna do that. From now on, I'm gonna keep that in mind whenever we get to that point in a stream. Thomas dinner and a custom pog. For a moment after I leave the room, I actually do consider seeing what Misha is up to, just because Shizune made it sound so secretive, as if she were building a time machine or something. But in the end, I decide not to. The night air is, wow. Oh, god damn it! I need to sort out my throat. Why are you giving me a yatta? Yatta! Streamer throat explodes on stream. Hopefully not. The night air is pleasant at this time of year. It's refreshing and a little humid, but not so chilly as to make it uncomfortable to stay outside for a while. It's late enough for the courtyard to be all but deserted too. After Shizune and I said our farewells to each other, I'd set out to return to my dormitory room. I didn't even make it all the way there, though, before getting distracted. It doesn't seem like a bad idea to go see what Misha is up to. I have nothing better to do, no homework. I'm out of anything worth reading. On top of that, I simply want to know. This is my first time being in the main building after hours, but usually it's as if I'm leaving the place with Shizune and Misha after a long day at the student council, not entering it alone. The atmosphere is quiet, a word I would not normally use to describe these halls. It's a little creepy. A light starts flickering up ahead. This seems like a horror movie moment waiting to happen. Feeling a hand on my shoulder, I stiffen reflexively. It's not Misha, or else there would have been hands clamped over my eyes, and a sing-song guess who accompany them. So who is it? I hope it's not Kenji, or at least that it's someone I know. Well, this will take a turn for the weird. Hey, she's not naked this time. Why is it always the student council or council president, LMAO? Yeah, you just happened to catch me on the student council route. You get to fuck the president. I did. Before it was just some art student, and after that it was just some burnt chick, who's really shy. But this time, yeah, you call it the student council route. Student council is God. I mean, basically, given how much power anime gives them and things like this. Whoever it is quickly slips in front of me. Shizune, what are you doing here? I'm so relieved that I forgot to sign it. Shizune puts a finger up to her lips. I guess even though she can't hear, she has some idea of what loudness is, and can tell from my expression that I was being loud, and apparently being loud isn't a good thing right now. But then, why is Misha her interpreter? Oh, very funny. Why are you here? Hang on a sec. Streamer dead. No, not yet. I was waiting for you to come see. I knew you would show up. It took you a while though. You've been waiting here? Yes, but that isn't important. We have to be stealthy. If we don't want Misha to detect us, tell me if I'm not being stealthy enough, okay? With that, Shizune starts slowly tiptoeing through the middle of the hall. I pat her on the shoulder to get her attention. That's not stealthy. Why do we have to be stealthy? She refused to answer, probably because signing and walking stealthily at the same time doesn't look easy. Before I know it, we're in front of our homeroom. Suddenly, a sound like the crack of a whip pierces the air, followed by a familiar expression of frustration. I'm sure a sound like that isn't good for my heart, not to mention everything sounds about 1,000,000 times louder with how silent it is. It's coming from inside the room, and I sidle up to Shizune to get a look inside. What the hell? I didn't expect a CG like this. Can you stop throwing your pencil, please? How do you even throw a pencil that loudly? It looks very flustered. What an understatement. I sympathize with Muto. I was able to hear Misha's pen break the sound barrier, even through a wall and a thick classroom door. It probably blew out his eardrum and left an imprint on the wall. I'm not throwing it. When I get nervous, I like to spin it around, but then I forget I'm holding onto it and... Muto looks way edgier than you. Looks way more edgy than usual. I guess. Yeah, he actually does. Looks way more dead. It doesn't matter. Either way, there shouldn't be pencils flying around. I get enough of that during regular school hours. I don't need it after hours. Right, sorry. Whatever. Just stop throwing, or releasing, or dropping things, please. Teachers have work too. I noticed Shizune watching the same scene I am. Muto was yelling at the top of his lungs, and Misha is being Misha. I can hear them reasonably well through the door, but Shizune obviously can't hear anything at all, so I wonder what watching this is like for her. She must know, since she understands well enough to want me to see it too. But I have to wonder if she ever feels like she's missing out on something, having to work that much harder to understand what she's observing. Leaning into isekai protagonist before he gets isekai'd. Looks like she's taking supplementary lessons, is she? Yeah. I answer, despite knowing the question is completely rhetorical. Misha told me she really wants to be a sign language teacher in the future. If she can get a recommendation, she can study overseas for it. This is why she is working so hard. Her grades were always kind of on the low side. Now I feel guilty. I haven't even thought about what I'm gonna do yet. Neither have I. The cheerful way she signs it is very unlike her, and is very obviously false. Let's get out of here. We don't want to be seen. It would be a problem if we were caught standing out here like idiots. Where? The student council room? The room we just had sex in? Shaking her head, she slips into the classroom across the hall instead. Great hiding place. You're unusually sarcastic lately. With the door closed, it's a good one. Anyway, wasn't it interesting? Yes, but I'm not really surprised. Close the door behind us, prompting Shizune to laugh soundlessly as she slides into a chair. For a second it depresses me. I want to hear her real laugh. I've been looking down on Misha. I didn't think she had a goal at all, but it turns out that I was wrong. I made a careless assumption. I thought Misha was as aimless as I was. I was stupid. I lost. Shizune pauses to crack her knuckle, then folds her hands over each other and leans forward in her chair, in the abnormal quiet of the building. I can hear Muto yelling at Misha again, even across a hallway and through 2 doors. Shizune's eyes are locked onto mine, unblinking behind the gleaming lenses of her glasses, observing my reaction to her words. This is a test. Her opinion of people is rarely formed, It's really from how they respond to questions, it's how they respond to statements that counts. In hindsight, it makes sense. Shizune's inability to speak, as well as just her personality in general, means that anything she says is a big commitment on her part. Everything. For that reason, I sometimes doubt she says anything without a hidden gender behind it. That sounds remarkably paranoid. Even Kenji would think so. Unfortunately, I'm so caught up in thinking about it that I forget to give her an answer. She takes it as there not being one. There was an invisible time limit to this test, shorter than usual. Just as I thought. What do you mean? You don't agree? Not really. It's not that. I don't get it. I want to force my will on people. How refreshingly honest. Don't give me a weird look like that. It's not like that was always my intention. At first, I was just bored. I wanted to see someone's passion for something. Then I could try and beat them. I wanted to test their ability or their convictions. But it was impossible. No one has any passion for anything in this school. They just want to keep to themselves. I can't believe it. It's too boring that way. I thought that there was no way these drab people could be for real. It goes beyond not wanting to make waves. I want to be a dictator. I mean, kinda. It's basically what she's saying. They had to have some interests. They had to be hiding something. I wanted to expose it and reveal it and drag it out. Exposed! One of the most successful ways to get people to open up to you and cheer them up is to open up with a story about yourself, and then you ease them into telling you about themselves. It's like give and take, but with an element of manipulation which makes it interesting. I can't do that. If I attempt to have Misha talk about me, for me, talk about me, for me, it makes me seem arrogant. The message has to go through a messenger. I'm standing next to Misha, telling her to tell someone about me. You don't have to be able to read sign language to see that. If I were forced to sit through that, I would think I was arrogant too. I was frustrated. I couldn't figure out a way to have a conversation with anyone but Misha. No one would open up to me. I came to the conclusion that I can't make people confide in me or believe in me. I can only hope to create things and show them to people. And hope that makes... And hope they make them happy. Oh, I see. Or I could be more forceful and hope it would eventually stick to someone. I guess that would be me. Feels vaguely depressing. Somewhere along the line, I think I started to ignore Misha, or see her as less of a person, or something like that. I took her for granted. I think would be the best way to put it. It was like she was just an extension of myself. I forgot that the whole time Misha was there, opening up to me and giving me 100% every day. I missed what I was looking for because it was in plain sight. How stupid of me. I really did become arrogant. That's why I've lost. I'm more short-sighted than I was back then. I went in reverse. She's pacing back and forth now, almost brooding, yet still filled with so much energy that she can't stand to stop moving. Shizune X Misha out. I mean, maybe. I don't know. This is getting a bit sketch. Come on, Shizune, stay with me. We just had sex. If you got her to hold 2 wires, I'm sure Shizune could power a light bulb. It's odd that I could have such a light-hearted thought while she's being so serious. And in spite of that, Misha tells me that I'm her inspiration. Isn't that ridiculous? I'm not that kind of person who can inspire others. Even if a person who inspires you is flawed, it can be acceptable. I've thought about this. There is even acceptable hypocrisy. For instance, if your hero was an athlete but unsportsmanlike, they could still be respected for their athletic ability, even if they had shortcomings as a person. Polygamy is clearly the answer. Once again. I mean, I'd be down for some polygamy. However, she snaps her fingers briskly. It sounds like a thunderclap in the empty room, and Shizune takes a few seconds to stretch her fingers. Come to think of it, this is the most she has ever signed. If someone like me has no goals, it would be totally unacceptable. It would be the worst kind of hypocrisy. And hypocrites don't deserve responsibility over anything. They can't even manage themselves. Damn. Fair, though. How incredibly pessimistic. It makes me angry to think about it. I would hate myself just a few months ago. This must be how I looked to others. And funny enough, it was Shizune and Misha who convinced me to stop. Without them, I'm sure things would be much different and not for the better. No, it's fine. You just fuck one of the other girls. Although I guess you could argue the Rin route isn't better. Even the good Rin route is kinda sus. Lately, I feel as though we pass around our miseries as much as we're pass around our miseries as much as we're supported by each other. But I think it just comes with the territory of having friends and being close to someone. You're the leader anyway. This is only because no one else wants to be. That means you still are, since people are putting their trust in you anyway. In fact, doesn't that make it more important? Either way, you are the leader. You are the inspiration figure, or whatever you want to call it. You're responsible for what you tame. Read that in a book somewhere. That's clever. Shizune only seems to show what she's feeling on her face when she wants to, but I don't think she's being sarcastic. I don't want to tame anyone, though. Being the leader and being looked up to, then, same thing. I never wanted to be the leader, it just ends up that way. I don't believe that. All you do is try to grab more and more responsibility. Wait, I wasn't going to tell you that I don't enjoy it. I don't care about being the leader, but I don't, what? Oh, I don't care about being the leader, but I don't mind. I don't care about being the best, but I don't mind. You're right, though, about me wanting responsibility. Of course I want more responsibility. Having responsibility makes me feel alive. That's why I joined the student council. If there is no pressure, I just can't stand it. Even so, now I'm the leader. I always thought being the leader meant you give orders, but it really is more. It's about having a goal. If I don't have a goal, then it's pointless. People would only be following me for my own enjoyment. It would be selfish. It's a strangely moral viewpoint for a person who seems to love one-upping others so much. Resting her chin on her tented fingers, Shizune looks disarmingly childish as she thinks hard about her problem. The expression on her face is a little comical because it's too obvious and therefore very unlike her. Comes with the job. I think you'd have to be a leader. You wouldn't be satisfied with anything else. You would just get bored. Shizune doesn't reply, but from her ignored expression, I think I've guessed correctly. Oh, that's deep, bro. Whack. I've been thinking that I need a little direction too. Were you told that it's important to contribute to society? What an unusual response. It's so out of nowhere that I don't know how to respond, and it also bothers me, though I don't know why. Possibly because it doesn't seem like something that would come from her. So I start to think that it isn't Shizune's fault at all. I wonder who told her that. Well, it was probably her dad. There is a chance she came up with it on her own. If so, would it be because she can't hear? Why do you say that? Just because? I don't believe it. I guess that's right, though. I see. I don't know if it's the same for me. I hate it. I think everyone wants a purpose. Looking back, it makes sense that Shizune doesn't have one. All that energy would otherwise have been directed at something. Since she has nothing to channel it towards, Shizune lashed out in all directions. Reminds me of a downed power line flailing in a storm, furious and incandescent, but aimless and dangerous, just like Shizune. I want to say that this is where she feels the need to turn everything into a competition, but that's probably just how she is. Having a goal to put that energy towards is just the next level. How about this? I could go into business. My family is well connected, so it shouldn't be too hard. That comes off sounding a little unethical and nepotistic, doesn't it? A little. I won't coast though. I'll work hard until I'm at the very apex. Yeah, she'll just get a small loan of $1 million from our dad. When I have as much money as possible, so much that it'll be like I won't know what to do with it. I'll move on to the next step, after sitting on it for a while, of course, like a fairy tail dragon. You wanna be? Philanthropist. What were you thinking? That I want to be a miser? Shizune's just Trump. Well, it's true. It is a part of the plan. Don't sell me short and stop there, though. Shizune still looks uneasy. Of course, even if she did seem to resolve her problem quickly, no one can get over their anxieties that fast. No one can solve their problems that easily. The important thing is, it looks as though she had her heart set on trying. It's just hard to tell whatever that drive of hers comes from a good or bad place. But she has something to hold on to now. I can genuinely believe that she does. I'm happy for her, and at the same time I feel a little cold. I'm the one who's behind. Now I'm the only one without a goal. That's not the end? Damn. I really thought that would be the end of the route. There haven't been any further disruptions since that week. Of course, that's what I thought the week before that. Shizune and Misha's sudden newfound clarity had left me feeling a little lost and envious. I thought there was no way I could rest easy at the time. But wait, there's more. I'm actually very surprised there's more. Gotta blow out her back again. But fortunately nothing came of my worries. Then, before I knew it, there was enough to deal with in school that I even managed to put them off my mind, and still everything was fine. I was wrong. I'd seen Shizune and Misha's carefully hidden vulnerabilities, but they were still strong. Now we're going to be graduating soon. I've grown so comfortable here that it kind of crept up on me. When it did, I felt sad and didn't want to think about it, so I didn't, not until recently. About a week ago, I started making a list of people I thought I should say goodbye to before graduation. The first rule I laid out for myself was that I would try not to write them down in any kind of special order, like least important to most important. Somehow it ended up like that anyway, even though it also ended up being a shorter list than I expected it to be. Kenji is somewhere in the middle. I said I would have to graduate eventually. Well, I showed them. I've lived here rent-free for more than long enough. If you take into account the rising cost of land, I think you could say I've won in the end. Kenji God. No, you know what? I did win. History will acknowledge me as the victor. The victor of what? Managed to stay out of sight and slip through the cracks. I beat the system. If you put it that way, it sounds like you just ran away from the system. Sometimes running is the greatest form of victory. Like in the Olympics. I'm too tired to argue with him. Who's he kidding? Everyone knows the shot put is the best Olympic event in any case. So what you're basically saying is you won't miss it? Sao is relatively fond of Kenji on this route. What about the route where they have a manly picnic and drink whiskey? Which makes this a good route, trademark. Miss what? School, dummy. No, I told you. This place is too filled with feminists. It's beyond saving. But at least I'll be able to get out before it reaches critical mass. I'll only come back years later when they build a statue to honor me. Do they do the 10-year later reunion thing here? How would I know that? Probably. Anyway, I have to start packing now. Take care of yourself, man. Damn. Should have packed a week ago, like I did. Not that I had much to pack. That's not how it goes. You're supposed to do everything at the last minute. Men are better at doing everything at the last minute. Last minute can have more productivity than, like, the entire week before it. It's how we keep shit fair. You'll never understand our manly ways. You take care of yourself, too. With a salute, he shoots backwards through the door, slamming it shut behind him, hard enough that the entire dorm probably heard it. I've noticed that a lot of people slam doors here. Maybe it's a local thing. Take care of yourself is the first time I've heard him say it. Usually he ends our conversation with something like, see ya, or, I'll pay you back later, man. Well, he was a little annoying sometimes, but I'll miss him. I cross him off my list mentally. Kenji smart. The list is very short now. I once again discard the notion of going through it in any kind of order. Like I said, I never had that intention. So I go out to look for Shizune and Misha. I can only think of one place they could be, the student council room, of course. Sao Dare for Kenji. Yeah, a bit of last minute dare. Turning the corner, I almost bumped into a small group of students. For a second, a bit of feeling flashes through me, since for all I know, they could have been fatal. It's a new student council. There aren't a lot of them, but a lot more than 3, which is good, since it means there's enough of them that they can each have their own title. It would have been cool if I could have had a little desk plaque with my name and title on it. I don't think they do that now, or ever did, unfortunately. The new student council surrounds me while I'm thinking. If anyone were looking at this from afar, it would be a pretty sinister sight. Maybe they've come to finally get back at me for calling them the new student council all these times. I was just translating for Shizune, but I guess I should have been less lazy and more tactful. I regret nothing. I found myself being thanked for everything I've done. being thanked. This should make me happy, considering how often I would think to myself that being in the student council was a completely thankless job. It does make me happy, but I can't enjoy it fully. I wonder how things would have turned out if our student council had grown as large as this one that's set to replace us. Even though they've only got 2 or 3 other members, it's enough that they have set roles, not like us, where Shizune seemed to be the president, and that was it. The new council thanking me gives me a strange feeling. It's like coming back home and seeing that a tree you nurtured years before has grown. But I feel like I didn't nurture that tree enough. I wonder what more I could have done. It would likely make Shizune furious that I would feel distant from what I did in the student council this way. Or that I'm implying I didn't do enough. But it's true, I was only following her. So in a way, I also feel like I'm viewing the same tree from far away, as if I'm seeing it from the window of a train as it passes by. What a weirdly specific thing. Like, he's not just like far away from it, he's like in a train as it passes by. I indulge in these thoughts for too long. When I snap out of it, I realize that I'm still standing there surrounded by the new student council. I do the only thing I can do and apologize for zoning out, then I thank them back. When they walk away, I enter the student council room, which looks a lot messier but seems to have gained a computer. It makes sense. I recall hearing one of the clipboard girls talking about our plans to use a computer to make all the boring data entry Shizune does more tolerable. I can't remember which one said it though. Al seems to be the more ambitious one, but then again, Keiko appears more serious. Well, it doesn't matter now. I'm not alone in the room, but instead of finding Shizune here like I expected, it's just Misa. She's sitting on Shizune's desk like Shizune herself often does, swinging her legs back and forth. When our eyes meet, she hops off and inexplicably poses like a superhero. Hi, Ikchan. I'm surprised to see you here. What are you doing? You first. I was looking for Shizune. Me too. I thought you would be here, but I got Hikchan instead. Gee, thanks. Well, this is good. Really. I wanted to talk to you anyway. About what? Take the time to glance around the room a little more. I see a hot plate. They are really living high. I want to say sorry, of course, for all the trouble I made for you and Shikchan. Don't call it trouble. Right. Don't apologize to Shizune. Right. But that isn't why I'm here, Hikchan. I wouldn't apologize to Shikchan. Since you're here, I want to ask you a question. Hikchan, what do you think it would take for Shikchan to be happy? Well, domination, obviously. Even though you're joking, Hikchan. No, even if she could, it wouldn't make Shikchan happy. Only for a little while. Hikchan, have you ever heard of artists who tear up their paintings as soon as they finish them? Such people exist in the world, you know? I remembered it all of a sudden. It's just like Shikchan now that I think about it. Whenever Shikchan sets up a challenge for herself and completes it, she acts like her She acts like her skills have no meaning anymore. I wonder, is it because she can't create anything permanent? It's just like those artists, and how they want to create a piece of art to leave behind. A really great one, but can't do it. It's really obvious when I look back at it, but I didn't see it before now. I'm scared. I wonder if Shikchan will ever be happy. No, I don't think so. Not about her being happy. I think you're wrong. Shizune is actually happy more often than I'd thought. I think it's actually kind of amazing. Usually people don't think about that kind of stuff until they're middle-aged or dying. Then they think, I want to leave something behind, or I want to be remembered. Like me. Only I skipped ahead a little. My life was short and seemed even shorter after my heart attack. I didn't think about what I was leaving behind because I very quickly thought there was almost nothing I was leaving behind. So all that was left was for me to stew in my own bitterness. Shizune already wants to leave her mark somewhere, but she wants to do it by helping people. That's why celebrations are so important to her. She even wants to be a philanthropist. I think it's the best way to live. Living on by what you give to others, even if it's for a selfish reason, that's okay too. Shizune is already happy because if something goes well, there will always be someone else to see it and remember it. That's what makes her happy. Misha sighs, arms stiff at her side, hands tapping the air softly. Before, I still thought, I might be able to make Shizune happy, and I was in a good place to do it before. Since I was her interpreter, I could always be her maybe. And I thought I would do it by becoming like Shikchan's shadow. I kept trying, even when she rejected me. It felt like I was stuck and I couldn't do anything but watch Shik-chan's back getting smaller while she kept going. I was scared even though I should have just accepted it. It's hard. Maybe I could have at least understood Shik-chan. But it looks like I was completely wrong after all. I didn't even know that, or think about it. Shik-chan would call it a complete loss. Okay, I'm done. That's it, Shik-chan, but since you're the one who knows Shik-chan best of all, you can't make her cry, or I'll be angry. I'm gonna go overseas after this. I even have letters of recommendation, or I don't think I would be able to normally. Maybe I'll study and become a sign language teacher over there. Who knows? That means you have to look after Shik-chan, okay? Mrs. Small is as honest as ever, but she's obviously changed. The look in her eyes is that of a much more attentive girl. It seems to be true that hardship builds wisdom. It reminds me of the look in Shizune's eyes. I wonder what Shizune must have been through to have become who she is. I can take a guess, or maybe she was always like that. I want to see her even more and suggest to Misha that we should look for her together. Of course, it's just a pretext to spend more time with a friend. Strange how it hasn't been long since we last hung out together. The three of us in the span of a routine student council day, yet it seems like it was a so long ago. Thinking about the future can put that kind of lens over the past. Speaking of lenses, god damn, so much more that I just wasn't expecting. All this character exposition, yeah, seriously. Everyone's spilling their goddamn heart out. I need a... Outside, Yuko is standing around, fiddling with a tiny modern-looking camera in her hands. It would be unnoticeable if it weren't metallic enough to reflect the sunlight. Misha calls out to her. I thought we were supposed to be looking for Shizune. Hi. What are you doing? I'm just taking photos of everyone. That's obvious. Awkward. Misha, I'll never forget how you taught me that someone can hold so many secrets and still have a massive lack of tact. Where's my photo? You want a copy? I don't know. Well, only if you promise to keep it a secret, or else everyone will want one too. That happened to me in elementary school, only it was with candy. Yep. Okay, I'll take a photo of you now then. Ah, wait, I'm not ready. I was just kidding. Hey, John, make a peace sign. I'm not gonna do that. The camera flash goes off, blinding me. Yuko shields herself behind it, letting out a moan of frustration. You're not supposed to turn the flash on outdoors. Starts apologizing unnecessarily and then quietly slips away. Ah, wait. Yes? Did you see Shik-chan around here? Yes, in front of the gate. Thanks. I can barely get it out before I have to start following behind Misha. Fortunately, not for very long. The gate is barely a minute's walk from here, even though... What? Even that can be tiring for me sometimes. We see Shizune with the student council. They're probably thanking her too. As soon as she sees us, she shoos them away, which is very easy, since I doubt any of them can understand sign language, or use it, so they're not too sad about leaving. Which in turn makes me wonder why they would thank her without someone who can, but it's the thought that counts. Misha immediately hugs Shizune and then leans against the gate next to her. I, on the other hand, decide to hang back a little and let them talk. After all, Misha wanted to talk to Shizune this whole time. I can wait. Even turn away so I don't eavesdrop on their conversation. End up losing track of the time. When I look at my watch, it's already been 10 minutes. I wonder if they're done and turn around to find them behind me. What are you thinking about? Boring philosophical things that I don't want to talk about? Don't worry, I'm not thinking about it too hard. Good. Getting philosophical at a time like this would be the worst thing you could do. Yeah, I just want to stand here for a bit. It's relaxing. It was a busy week. Not really. Not for me. No, they must have been busy, but I think I know what I want to do now, and when it hit me, it didn't feel particularly fired up or anxious. It is the opposite. I feel at peace for the first time in a long time, and I want to savor this feeling a little more. I think that I want to teach here. As soon as I thought this, a long, winding road appeared in my mind, an uncertain road that leads back here. I wonder if I'll be able to meet someone in the future like me, someone filled with bitterness. I want to talk to that person since I can't talk to myself. I want to tell them that life is too short. Something that could be told to me, only shown. What? Oh, that couldn't be told to me, only shown. I want to do it without pity. If I had been pitied, I'm sure that I'd have only died a little more. When I think about that first week, I still think about how well it went. So well that it could only be called the result of kindness. I feel like I want to show others the same kindness. And I also want to keep chasing Shizune. Did he say chasing? What did the new student council want, Shik-chan? It's hard to daydream when you have to deal with Misha's voice. I didn't know that they had someone who knows sign language. They don't. I think it was more likely just a goodbye, so I appreciated it, even though I couldn't tell them. How did you know I was here? It was supposed to be a secret. Anyway, we just asked Yuko. Did she take a photo of you two? Yes, without asking me first. Since Yuko doing something spur of the moment is rare, though, I'll let it go. She snaps her fingers, more because I think she likes it than out of realization of an idea. We should take a photo of the three of us. We haven't taken a student council photo yet, now's the perfect chance. But, if I have to look at the picture for a year from now, I don't want her staring back at me. What? What does that mean, Shik-chan? Pictures are supposed to capture the moment, isn't that right? Without a doubt. They're not portraits just standing around would be so stiff. It wouldn't even capture how I feel. I feel like we'll meet again, so this isn't an occasion to take such a serious photo. It should be a see you later type of photo, not a big deal. It should be something more festive. Oh boy. Like this, follow me. Shizune poses like a musketeer so quickly that I'm sure even she knows it's silly. Do we really have to do such a cheesy pose? I can think of no better pose. Misha, go find Yuko. I don't like this pose either, but I think it's kinda nice. That doesn't even make sense. JoJo pose for graduation. She's already gone and returns dragging Yuko behind her. The flash is off. A red LED blinks 3 times above it after Yuko's finger presses the button. Shizune glances at both of us to make sure we have the timing down. Synchronized watches, we jump. Well, they're not in the air for that. I bet that turned out excellently. Okay, let's get one with Yuko too. No, please. That's not necessary. I want a copy of this photo too. I'll likely die younger than the average person. My life could unexpectedly burn out at any time. I don't have any time to waste then. I want to live as much as possible. I also want to see others smile from what I've made and done. Living vicariously for the happiness of others doesn't seem so bad. Feeling joy through another person's happiness doesn't seem like such a bad thing. It's the easiest way I can think of to draw out my own life and give it distinction. Maybe this is the meaning that Shizune had found for herself, although it's just my theory. People find themselves alone often in their lives and without direction. However, people can take refuge in moments of happiness. They can dot a person's life like stops on a train map, or waypoints of memory on a long trail. These individual moments, on reflection, can give a person's life fulfillment. Every friend and festival and joyful meeting and joyful parting. I want to be able to ask Shizune one day if I'm right. I want to spend the time I have with her, finally. I want to make Shizune smile for herself. I love you. I pause, wondering if she'll look at me confused and ask. I'd say it out of the blue. She doesn't. Do they do that reunion thing here? Of course they do. Student council members should know that. Sooner than that though, okay? Sooner than that though, okay? Both of you. Right. Yeah. Yuko, you do the pose too. Afterwards we can go for tea. Shizune laughs as if she doesn't have a care in the world. Misha's laughter joined with hers as easily as if it were her own. We'll meet again. There we go. That rap felt really long compared to all the others. It felt like way longer than all the others. It was also quite the weird one. It had the shortest amount of Is that Shizune concept art? I think I like that better than the Shizune we got, damn. But yeah, it was weird that there was only one split choice, and also the split choice was fucking turn into the Misha route or stay as the Shizune route, which is just fucking wild. It also was a weirdly overly sad one. Well, mainly towards the end of Act 3 and Act 4. Like, goddamn. It was also weird that we got with Shizune, like, right away. Like, we were dating her, like, what was it? By the end of Act 2, I think, is when you start dating her. Well, technically got the route done. I will have to do the Misha route stuff. Get together straight away so you can enter your... I mean, basically, that's kind of why they did it, which is weird. Such a weird, like, I don't know. It was a weird route. I mean, because Misha was there. Which I did wonder about when I first played, but it was like, oh, it's like, I don't know, it's like, Misha also gets a route, kind of, but it's the NTR cheat on your girlfriend route. Very, very weird one. But yeah, we will do the other selections as is the norm, but not right now, because right now we're gonna go into Song of Saya, the diciest thing I've ever tried on stream. I really hope it doesn't get me fucking banned, but my god, is it a... Why did I I don't know why I got the uncensoring patch. I don't want to play it censored, goddammit. I don't even like playing this censored because then off stream I have to go back and watch the sex scenes without the fucking... with the thing turned off. Which I haven't even done for Hanako. I went back and read the Rin sex scene. I didn't read the fingering Rin scene. I think Hanako just has one, which is at the end, and I didn't go back and read that yet. And then there's two in Shizune that I need to read now. Worth. But, having to go back to watch the sex scenes. I gotta, man. I gotta read all the dialogue. Honestly, I should have just done it from the... I don't know, from the get-go, I should have just done what I'm gonna do with Saya, which is, like, block it if anything comes up, but then still read the dialogue on stream. It's just that you won't see anything too dicey for Twitch. Bruh, it's literally just sex. Yeah, I know it is. I read the Rin one. It's pretty much just Hisao describing sex. But hey, might as well, right? Anyway, it's a lot more important in Song of Saya. A Ramon's sex dialogue for stream. I might have to with Song of Saya, honestly. And I've heard that, like, the sexualness of that and the gore and everything of that is, like, really imperative to the story. And apparently people who like that game really fucking hate the censored one, because apparently it's just, like, destroys so much of everything by being censored. So, I think that's why I'm gonna do that one uncensored and just self-censor it myself when I can. Gonna keep the spicy dialogue in there though, so that's gonna be in like, I'm gonna take a short break, I'm gonna end the stream, and then I'll come back in like half an hour or so, and we'll have, because I also want to eat some lunch, and we'll come back, and then when I come back, we're gonna do Song of Saya, which I've read which I checked on VNDB, and it says it's a says it's a short one. I have to read it out loud, so that might make it a bit longer, but short the range of short is 1 to 10, so it could be anywhere in between there. So maybe it'll take 10 as I don't know. I'm doing it for October spoopiness. Final week of October spoopiness, because it's a horror game, so horror visual novel, kinda. So, hopefully it won't take too long. I also think it doesn't have alternate endings. I think it's... Maybe it does, though. Does it have choices? I don't know. I'll check VNDB during the break so that I know what's going on. But, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. Like, half an hour break and then come back with, Song of Saya, and I'll show off my weird sensor and everything. So I'll see you all, when that happens. I hope you enjoyed this stream. If I'm gonna see you in that one, I'll see you in that one. If I'm not gonna see you in that one, then I'll maybe see you some other stream. Hope you enjoyed. The next time we do Katawa Shoujo will be Friday, and I'll do the Misha route stuff then, and maybe start the Lily route. Alright. Stay frosty for the brief moment before the next stream starts.